Okay, today is November 25th, 2012.
25th or 6th?
25th. And I'm here with Grandpa Bauck, Rowland Bauck. And he just celebrated his 87th birthday. And we have a few questions to ask him. First question, Grandpa. How did you meet Grandma?
Met her when she was about 12 years old.
How?
I was over their place with her brother,
Which brother, do you remember?
Arnold.
Arnold, okay. And what were you doing with Arnold?
We used to go out together some.
Just hang out, or did you play sports together, or what'd you do?
He played for Speaking, I played for Mills.
Oh, so you knew each other that way anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me about your first date.
Well, they only lasted a few minutes.
How come it only lasted a few minutes?
Because her real boyfriend got there before I did.
How did he get there before you?
Had a party line, his mother rubbered, so he got over there first.
Oh. And what did you guys do when you went on dates?
Well, I really didn't date her again.
Well, when did you get together with her again?
I sat behind at a ball game about 2 months later.
Okay. Where was the ball game?
Speaker played in Mills, and the game went over with, and I told her I was sure hoping that Speaker beat Mills, and I'd maybe probably go home with me. Well, I'll still go home with you.
Oh, where was her other boyfriend that day?
He didn't go to ball games.
Okay. Where was your first kiss?
That same night, dropped her off at the door and gave her a little kiss, and said, "It's not good to kiss on the first date." So I grabbed her and kissed her again. So how come you did that? I took the other one back.
So, how long after that did you get married?
So that was in February. It was September 5th, I think.
Okay. Okay, the same year then.
Yep.
All right. Well, was that pretty typical? People dated about that long before getting married? Less than a year?
Most of them went a lot longer together.
Okay. And you were already back from the service?
Yep.
Okay. So why did you join the service?
Drafted.
You were drafted. And what branch of the service were you in?
Navy.
The Navy. Could you swim?
Nope.
So how'd you go into the Navy if you couldn't swim?
Well, they thought they could teach me how.
Did it work?
Nope.
What was your job in the Navy?
Well, different jobs. I was mess cook for the Chiefs for about 5 months.
Okay.
Board ship. And then I worked for, I don't know, maybe a year, hauled the captain around. So
What do you mean hauling the captain around?
from one ship to another when they wanted to meet with another captain, another ship, we sent them over there.
Oh, so how would you had a little boat to get them over there?
Yeah, it was kind of small. It wasn't that big. No.
How many people were on your ship roughly? Like how big a ship was it?
Yeah, I'd say about 260 maybe on there.
Okay, holy balls, so it's a big ship.
Well, destroyer, USS Wiley.
USS Wiley. Where were you stationed most of the time?
Not too far from Japan.
Okay.
The war was going on.
While the war was going on. Were you scared?
Not really.
Okay. How long were you in the service?
Well, a few days missing on 2 years.
Okay. So, the Jap rifle, how did you get it?
I got it from another kid that didn't treat me very good.
Can you explain that to me?
It was a real hot night, and the air come down in our apartment. There were only 2 of us down there, and then the rest were up top. And he put his pants around there and put both pants legs to his bunk. And I went, what of them? He said, that was his pants. So then I go up and see the officer, and he come down and jerked the pants off. And then the officer went back up and he put it back on again. So I made believe I went back up again, and stood there a little while and come back down and get the pants off of there. And then he told me he'd have the light on all night because he couldn't sleep anyhow, so I turned the light bulb loose. Took the light bulb, I said, "Oh, you're gonna." And then I couldn't sleep too good because he was, I showed the other guy his straight edge razor. So then, it was a long night.
I bet.
So I figured just for that I'd take his Jap rifle.
Aha.
So I took his Jap rifle, it had a firing pin in there, and
Wow. How did he get it?
they offered him for that when he was getting a discharge. He was riding back with us and get his discharge.
Oh.
He had more years in already.
Okay. So what's the story about dusting the chief's quarters? Or whatever it's called.
Well, when I started him, I was supposed to dust the bulkhead too and wipe that off and different things. So you just checked over the entryway where you went in, had a little dusty there. So I told him, he said, "We haven't dusted for a while." I said, "No, I get that ready." Then about a week later, he checked again, you still haven't done it. I said, "No," and then I just wiped just where he checked. And the next time he checked, he said, "I see, you got it done." I said, "I sure have."
Okay, now the story about you said it wasn't painting the deck, but you were scraping the deck?
No, we're supposed to scrape all the paint off in that boat with all the captain around in,
Oh,
and put some clear finish on there. So I knew we only had 1 gallon of that clear finish, so I just dropped over the side one night. And the captain said we could come and start scraping paint. I said, "Maybe you better check to make sure we got some." And he said, "I know we got it." I said, "Well, maybe you should check." And he went down and checked, and it was gone. So we didn't have to scrape it.
ah. Skipping back a little bit, you and Grandma got married. Where did you get married?
In church in Savika.
Grace Lutheran?
Yep.
Okay. And how many people did you have stood up for you? Who was your best man?
Marvin.
Marvin was. Okay. Okay. And then did you have like a reception afterwards?
Out at the farm.
At Grandma's parents' farm
Yep.
on Highway 8.
Yep.
Okay. All right. How about cars? What kind of cars did you have in your lifetime? What was your favorite?
No, I suppose the 47 Plymouth.
Why was it your favorite?
That's the one I hauled living around in.
Oh. When you first got married, is that the car you had?
Yep.
And when you first got married, did you live here on this farm or did you live?
Lived at my parents for about 3 years.
Okay. So how many kids lived there with you at your parents' house?
2.
David and Diane.
Yep.
Okay. How many, when you moved here to this farm, who'd you buy it from?
George Kramer.
Okay. And so the road that the driveway goes to wasn't in. So to get here, you had to come up Skoog's driveway, right?
Yep. Or go through Ed Ratz's yard.
Okay. Okay.
Because he didn't mind if I did or not anyway. So.
All right. And Ed Ratz is where Dennis and Diane live now.
Yep.
So what buildings were here when you moved here?
None of them are here anymore.
These are all new. You built them all.
Yep.
So how did you decide where to put the buildings?
That's a good question.
What did you build first?
House.
The house was first? Because you had a barn already, or?
Yep. No beat up barn. Yeah.
Okay. How many cows were you milking?
Start with
Yep.
5.
5? And what was the most cows that you ever milked here?
51.
Wow. Did you like milking cows?
Yeah, it wasn't bad at all.
How old were the kids before they helped you milk?
5 years old, I suppose, 6.
Okay. Okay. Any other cars? Did you win a car?
Yeah.
What? And how did you win it?
Had a lucky ticket at Firm Fair,
What kind of car was it?
Corvair.
What year? Roughly?
I'd go with a 65 mile.
Okay. Okay.
It was 50 years ago this year at the fair that I won the car. I think it was 50 years ago.
Okay, so 62 probably then.
I think they're more like it.
Okay. What, there's some story about driving a stick shift with your brothers or learning how to drive it. How does that go? Do you remember?
Oh, you mean many years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, the folks are gone, so we got a car out. My younger brother knew where the shifts were all at. So he let me steer it and use the gas pedal, and he showed me where to shift it. And
How old were you, do you think?
must have been 13 or 14.
Okay. So you shifted and he ran the gas?
I did.
Oh.
And the steering wheel too.
Okay.
Got almost in bells and turned around and went home.
How'd you cover up your tracks?
In front of the barn, just get a little wheat and throw it in the tracks, and the chickens eat it, and the tracks are gone.
When you first got married to Grandma then, and you were milking 5 cows, did Grandma know how to milk?
She said she did, but she really didn't.
What do you mean?
Well, I could milk 3 or 4 of them and then finish hers.
And maybe that was just smart on her part.
Could be. You know how women are.
What do you remember about your mom and dad?
Pretty hard workers, really.
Did your dad ever yell at you?
The same as Zero.
How were you disciplined?
We just did what they told us.
What if you did something wrong?
We knew better than that. We knew better than that.
How
Anything we did wrong, make sure they couldn't find out about it.
How about, did he find out about you smoking a cigarette?
Not really, until I found out they didn't care, and then I quit.
How old were you when that was about?
Oh, maybe 15, 14 right now.
Okay. Did you guys have running water and electricity at your growing up?
I think we got it when I was about 7 years old.
Okay. Both?
Huh?
Both the running water and electricity?
Yeah.
Okay. So how did it work? Is it just like the electricity you have now?
No, we had batteries.
Off batteries.
Yeah, and you could run electric motors off the batteries too.
Okay.
We had electric motor on the milking machine, and we had electric motor on the wash machine, electric motor on the cistern pump, electric motor on the well pump in the house, electric motor on the separator, and the electric motor on the milk machine.
Okay. So did they add that bathroom on at Marvin's after that, or did you always have it there?
Well, always there as long as I know.
Okay. What were some of your chores growing up?
Well, we each had the same cows and milk all the time. I think most of the time we had to milk 2 or 3. Because the only milk, but we did get up to, I think got up to 15 there.
Okay.
And we had to milk like maybe 3, 4 cows.
How many horses did you have?
Oh, most of the time about 5.
So when did you get the first tractor?
I think in 37.
Okay. Do you remember what kind it was?
Zeemeling.
Zeemeling. Okay. Now, did you run your horses, did you work them every day of the week or
Not on Sundays.
not on Sundays? Because of church day or?
They need a little rest.
They needed rest. Did you have any pets?
Not really. No, no. Oh, we had rabbits running around there.
Did you tame them? Or were they tame rabbits?
They were tame rabbits, but you couldn't catch them.
Oh. What about the chipmunk in the porch? I thought that was your pet.
Yeah, he was pretty cat. You could handle with gloves on.
You just trapped him in the woods, or how'd you get him?
That's a long, long story. They chased the chipmunk until he run to a hollow tree, and then we cut the tree down, and we kept cutting it down. And we got the hollow spot, and then we put a sack on the end and poked him in the sack, and then put the sack in the cream can, and then we had him.
Oh, okay. Where did you go to elementary school?
District 178,
Where was that?
about a mile and a good mile and a quarter from the folks.
Okay. Then where did you go after elementary school?
7th to 8th grade, I went to St. Paul School.
In Perham?
Right.
And did you have confirmation then too?
Yep.
Okay. And after 8th grade, 9th grade, where did you go?
Mills High School.
All right. How many kids were in your class in high school? Or how many did you graduate with?
I think 32.
Okay. Did you ever skip school?
Maybe once in a while.
Did you ever get caught?
Oh yeah.
What'd your parents say?
They didn't know about it.
Oh. What's your favorite memory of elementary school?
Circle dodgeball.
Circle dodgeball. How about of St. Paul's? What was your best memory there?
Oh. I don't know, Larry.
Did you stay in Perham when you went to St. Paul's, or how'd you get back and forth?
Oh, the weather was good. I ride bike back and forth, and the winter come, I had to stay in town.
Who'd you stay with?
I stayed 1 year with Ted Schmitz and 1 year with Louis Schmitz.
What was Ted's wife's name?
Hazel.
And what was Louis's wife's name?
Molly.
Okay. So you told me a story about someone that made really good coffee cake. Who was that?
And Emma.
Aunt
My
Emma.
dad's sister.
Your dad's sister. Where did she live?
Almost upstairs downtown.
On the Bauck block?
Yep.
So above Bauck's Paint and Glass.
Well, yeah, a little ways from there. I mean, in the same block.
Same block, okay.
And there's about 16 steps to get up there.
Wow. What else was in that building besides them living there?
Well, at one time there was a little store below them, and then another time I know some of her relatives lived there, and it was relatives.
Was there a surgeon in that, or a doctor in that building?
Well, building right alongside of it,
The building right next to it, okay.
and sometimes they used to use her table to operate on.
On her table?
Yeah.
That's what I thought I remembered you saying. Wow, that's crazy. What do you think the most important job of a teacher is?
To get the kid to love school in the lower grades.
Okay. Were you in any sports in school?
Yeah, I tried a little bit of track, a little bit of football, and a little bit of basketball.
What was your favorite?
I would say football, maybe.
Okay. Did you have a good team?
Not bad. Not bad considering everything.
Who was on your teams? Do you remember any of the guys?
John Padlow, Argo Paulson, Elvin Jacobson, Morris Jacobson. How did that make?
About 5.
And Don Dumont, I think at times. Jim Dumont.
So what were sports like then? Did you have football helmets?
Oh, they were pretty soft.
Were they made out of leather?
Yeah.
Did you have pads?
Very little. Not no pads, you know, legs or anything like that. Little shoulder pads.
Was it pretty rough?
Well, not too bad really, I didn't think.
Okay. So, when you were raising your kids, what did you want them to know? What was the most important lesson you wanted them to learn?
Get as much out of school as you possibly can.
Okay. What about church? Did you guys attend church regularly, all the time?
Quite often,
Even when you were little?
yeah.
Where did you go to church when you were little?
St. Paul and Perm.
So you drove all the way there. Say, what's the story about when Darlene was going to be born? Where was Vernon?
Yeah, Vernon was in service.
He was in the service. So Lorene was living with your mom and dad?
Yep,
Were you living there too?
yeah.
And it was March. And
Yep.
she went into labor, and then what happened?
We had to get the horse out of the barn and haul her to Highway 10.
And what happened at Highway 10?
Doctor picked her up there, but then the snow was so bad the horse even got stuck. We had to shovel them out at times.
Wow.